Hey there and welcome. Have you ever had that magical moment when you meet someone and it feels like you've known them forever? It's not just about romance. Think about friendships, professional relationships, mentors, or even strangers who show up in your life just when you need them the most. It's as if the universe brought them into your life for a reason. But here's the question. Could it really be a coincidence? Or is there something deeper going on? Perhaps something that aligns with your inner world in ways we don't always recognize at first. In this video, we're going to explore the ideas of Carl Jung and why certain people seem to cross our paths in ways that feel destined. We'll look at how our unconscious minds shape the connections we make, how synchronicity plays a role in recognizing the right people, and how to tell the difference between genuine connections and illusions. But before we dive into all of that, let's ask, have you ever paused to connect with yourself first, before the people who are meant to be in your life? Let's explore this deeper together. Carl Jung, a Swiss psychiatrist and one of the most influential thinkers of the 20th century, didn't believe in coincidences. For Jung, nothing in life happens by chance. Everything that comes into our lives, the people we meet, the events we experience, holds deeper meaning. Every encounter, every relationship is a reflection of something inside us, often something hidden within our unconscious mind. Think about those times when you meet someone and instantly feel like you've known them forever, even though it's your first time speaking to them. You may feel a sense of familiarity, a strange yet comforting connection, almost as if they've always been a part of your story. Jung would describe this as synchronicity, a meaningful coincidence. It's when your inner world aligns with the outer world, creating a moment where everything clicks into place, as if life itself is guiding you to meet that person at the exact right moment. These moments are not random. They are reflections of where you are emotionally, mentally, and spiritually at that particular time. They hold opportunities for growth, healing, or even conflict. But it's important to remember that just because these connections feel significant, it doesn't mean they are meant to stay forever. Jung believed that the unconscious mind is not focused on comfort or stability. It's interested in evolution and growth. The people who come into our lives often challenge us to face parts of ourselves that we may have been avoiding, and in doing so, they help us grow in ways we never imagined. Jung would argue that if you find yourself repeating certain relationship patterns over and over again, whether it's abandonment, emotional unavailability, or constant conflict, this isn't fate or destiny at work. It's your unconscious mind trying to communicate with you. The reason these patterns keep showing up is that our unconscious minds seek balance and wholeness. If we haven't fully healed from past wounds, we may unconsciously attract people who mirror those unresolved issues. It's not a sign that we're doomed to repeat the past, nor is it bad luck. Instead, it's a message from our deeper selves, calling us to take a closer look at our emotional and psychological patterns. For example, you may find yourself drawn to partners who emotionally distance themselves, not because you want to experience pain, but because your unconscious mind is trying to resolve an old issue, something that needs healing. The trouble is, these patterns will keep repeating themselves until you bring them to the surface and consciously address them. It's like your mind is hoping for a different outcome, but you won't be able to break the cycle until you recognize it for what it is. The first step in breaking free from these unconscious patterns is becoming aware of them. This is where self-awareness becomes crucial. If you don't consciously recognize the beliefs or emotional wounds that are influencing your behavior, you will continue to attract people who reflect those unresolved issues. The key to growth is understanding where these patterns come from. You may have labeled it as bad luck in the past or blamed other people for the issues in your relationships. But when you look closely, you'll see that these patterns are actually reflections of something deep within you. When you begin to see them for what they truly are, you can start to make different choices and break free from old patterns that no longer serve you. Jung's theory isn't just about recognizing these patterns. It's about understanding the larger process of self-discovery. When you meet someone who seems to mirror a part of yourself, whether they challenge you, trigger you, or seem strangely familiar, it's not by accident. These relationships, though sometimes uncomfortable, are actually opportunities for growth. They are the universe's way of offering you a mirror, showing you parts of yourself that need attention or healing. But it's up to you to decide how to engage with these connections. Will you allow them to teach you something new about yourself, or will you continue to repeat the same patterns, unaware of what's happening beneath the surface? The choice is yours. These connections, whether brief or lasting, are never truly random. They all serve a purpose. Every person who crosses your path has something to offer, whether it's a lesson in healing, a challenge to grow, or an invitation to evolve into a more conscious version of yourself. But to fully understand the nature of these relationships, you must be willing to go beyond surface-level experiences. When you do, you'll begin to notice how each person in your life is reflecting something important back to you. Whether it's a part of yourself that you need to integrate, a belief you need to confront, or an old wound that needs healing. The key to creating meaningful and lasting relationships lies in this process of self-awareness. When you begin to understand that the people who come into your life are not random, but reflections of your inner world, you will start to see your connections in a new light. You will no longer feel like a victim of your circumstances. Instead, you'll become an active participant in your own growth and healing. You'll recognize that each person, whether they stay for a lifetime or only a season, plays a role in helping you move closer to the person you are meant to become. And as you develop a deeper understanding of yourself, you will attract the right people into your life, the ones who are aligned with your true self. In the end, it's all about recognizing the synchronicities in your life, the moments when the universe brings people into your world at just the right time. Whether they are here to teach you, challenge you, or simply share in your journey, these connections are never by chance. They are the universe's way of helping you grow, heal, and move toward greater self-awareness. So, the next time you meet someone who seems to have shown up at just the right time, take a moment to reflect on what they may be teaching you. And remember, as you evolve and grow, the people you meet will continue to mirror that process, guiding you toward deeper, more meaningful connections. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive into Carl Jung's ideas. I hope it's helped you see your relationships in a new light. Stay tuned for more insights into the fascinating ways our unconscious minds shape the world around us. Jung was of the opinion that the building blocks for a healthy relationship are the journey of individuation, which is the process of becoming who you actually are. You attract people who are fragmented in the same way that you are when you are fragmented. Being whole, on the other hand, allows you to attract from a place of fullness. This is not a metaphor, rather it captures the essence of energy, psychology, and reality. There are a great number of individuals who look for the proper person without going through the process of becoming the person who can identify them. It's possible that you're wondering, why do I attract people who don't value me? The issue that needs to be asked more deeply is, do I truly value myself? When there is a change in your connection with yourself, your external environment experiences a reaction. People whose magnetic pull was formerly strong begin to lose their hold, and new relationships that are aligned with one another begin to emerge. It is not because they suddenly appear before you, but rather because you have become more sensitive to them. If you are meeting people from a position of internal security, rather than emotional hunger, you are no longer striving to fulfill yourself via other people. Synchronicity and projection are two concepts that should not be confused with one another. Always question yourself, is this alignment, or am I projecting my unmet needs onto this person? When you have a strong attraction toward a certain individual. When we are unable to recognize certain characteristics, that we possess, Jung stated, we tend to project such characteristics onto other people. In the event that you have ever fallen in love with the self-assurance, passion, or brightness that another person has, it is possible that you have renounced the same attributes that that other person possesses. There is a canvas created out of the other person. When they fall short of the ideal, the illusion disintegrates, which is the risk that they face. Disappointment creeps in, not because they changed, but because you were never truly seeing them. This is the source of the disappointment. You saw a glimpse of a portion of yourself. So how exactly do you differentiate between the two? Instead of causing uncertainty, genuine connection brings about tranquility. Rather than being unstable, it has an anchoring effect. It is not as if you are continuously trying to prove yourself or chase after anything. Rather, you have the feeling that you are accepted. Also, and this is the most significant point, you feel yourself. One of the most underappreciated truths that Jung had to provide was the significance of intuition. He was of the opinion that the unconscious does not communicate via words, but rather through sensations, which are the unconscious emotional currents that lay underneath the intellect. When you had a nagging sensation that something wasn't quite right, did you ever just ignore it? You continued to remain in a relationship despite the warning flags, convincing yourself that you were being too sensitive or very insecure throughout the whole process. But the body was aware of it. Your gut instinct was telling you something. Your nervous system does not feel as if it is being attacked when you are close to someone who is a good fit for you. The feeling that you are always getting ready for the next letdown is not something that you experience. On the contrary, there is a feeling of security, repose, and relaxation. Real connection does not shout, rather it whispers. This is the reality of the matter. You will be able to hear it clearly if you have put in the effort to silence the cacophony of fear and uncertainty. Many people believe that in order for love to be genuine, it must be passionate, that emotional highs and catastrophic lows are indicators of passion. This is one of the most widespread fallacies in contemporary society. Jung, however, would often remind us that chaos is not a link, and that struggle is not evidence of depth. Consider the following question if you get the impression that love is a struggle. What am I fighting for? Can we say that it is validation or that it is connection? Is it love, or is it the dread of being by oneself that drives you? It is not necessary to give up on oneself in order to satisfy genuine love. There is no need for power games or emotional acrobatics to flourish in this environment. Having the ideal partner in your life will not demand you to reduce yourself. Rather, they will provide room for you to grow. I hope you're enjoying the movie so far. If you are, don't forget to share it with others who might benefit from it as well. And if you want to show some support for our channel and the work we're doing, you can simply click the thanks button below the video. We'll be forever grateful for your kindness. Now, let's dive into the content. Many people say they're looking for the right person, but they find it difficult to let go of what they know isn't right for them. This is a hard truth to face. Even though they try to justify, rationalize, and hope things will improve, nothing really changes as the years pass by. Carl Jung, a well-known psychologist, once said that it's impossible to grow in barren soil. So, when a relationship constantly brings you pain, it's not a test, it's a message. You may convince yourself that enduring pain is a sign of loyalty or that suffering is somehow connected to love. But the truth is that something within you is still trying to heal through that suffering. Letting go is not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of wisdom. It's about choosing not to betray yourself in the name of staying connected to someone. When you make that choice, when you finally value peace over chaos, something shifts. The right person doesn't appear because you've looked harder. They come into your life when you stop settling for less and make space for them. When you meet someone who is truly right for you, you'll know it. It won't be because they're perfect or meet some ideal checklist. but because their presence doesn't require you to sacrifice who you are. You won't feel overwhelmed, but rather you'll feel at ease, seen, and inspired. The connection will foster your personal growth naturally, without force or pressure. In other words, you won't feel like you're performing or pretending to be someone you're not. Instead, there will be a peaceful confidence, a sense of alignment that asks for nothing more than the truth. From the very beginning, you'll feel this deep connection without needing to search for it. Instead of asking yourself, "Is this person the right one for me?" ask, "Am I being true to myself in this connection?" Because when you're truly yourself, the people who are meant for you won't be able to overlook you. When you recognize them, they will instantly recognize you too. Carl Jung often spoke about the importance of the inner journey. He believed that the most meaningful journey we can take is within. When you decide to face your own darkness, to heal, and to grow, you start vibrating at a new frequency. The relationships that once served as your support begin to feel inadequate, and new, more aligned connections start to come into your life effortlessly. You no longer have to force things or chase after people. Instead, you become someone who can easily recognize genuine connections when they appear. And when that happens, it won't feel like magic. It will feel like reality, a deep sense of belonging, like coming home. I'd love to hear about your experiences in the comments below if you found this message meaningful. Have you ever had a relationship that felt truly connected, or are you still on the journey to finding it? To join our community, where we explore the unconscious mind, love patterns, and the path to self-discovery, make sure to subscribe to Mental Do and turn on the notifications. Also, if there's a topic you'd like us to cover in a future video, let me know in the comments. Your voice is essential to this journey. Thank you so much for being here. Remember, finding the right person begins with becoming someone who knows how to recognize them. Once that happens, everything will start to fall into place.